Welcome to this special presentation from FedGov Today, Intelligent Government, Smart Strategies to Accelerate AI Innovation, presented by ServiceNow. I'm the host of FedGov Today, Francis Rose. The Federal Chief Information Officers Council reports more than 1,700 use cases for artificial intelligence as of its last use case inventory at the end of 2024. As that number grows, agencies say they're facing data, automation, and governance issues as they scale. Over the next hour, you'll learn how to manage AI effectively for your organization from federal leaders who take control of their data, use automation, and optimize mission performance with strategic AI investments. We begin with Mike Hurt, Group Vice President for U.S. Public Sector at ServiceNow. Mike, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Francis.
How do you see that intersection of AI, data, and workflow management for mission delivery?
Yeah, good question. I really see it from a mission acceleration standpoint. You know, you've got AI models out there that really help you do predictive outcomes, figure out data patterns, and then you have, I should say, data or AI is only as good as the data that you provided, right? And so when you have good data with good AI models, you can actually use workflow to operationalize and get real outcomes out of, the predictive outcomes that you actually achieved. And so the three are inextricably linked and really important when you're talking about getting the full value out of your AI assets.
Agencies have been on a data journey for, I believe, 10 years or so now, really codified in the first Trump administration under the federal data strategy. Does the work that they're doing in that direction, though, necessarily make the data ready for AI, or are they two separate beings?
No, I mean, really to get your data ready, you really kind of have to be able to take control of your entire estate. And being able to do that really comes down to making sure that it's the data that you're actually able to get access to, making sure you have the right security controls on that data, making sure that it's standardized. Right now, there is data in federal agencies that are in lots and lots of different applications. I was talking to a customer the other day and they said they had 3,000 different applications in their environment. And as you can imagine, that creates tons of data silos, essentially, because each one of those applications has its own data store. Mm-hmm. And so in order to make that data ready or AI ready, you really need to be able to bring all that data to one place without having to create these large data lakes. That's a very complex process. And then also be able to make sure that the people that should have access to that data are the ones that have access to it, having the right security controls on top of it, and make sure that it has the right metadata associated with it, the tagging associated with it, so you can get the full value of AI. Again, AI is only as good as the data that you feed it.
So it strikes me, if you've got 3,000 different applications that have data in them and you're trying to bring those into one application or one repository at least, you probably have a lot of duplicative data in there, a lot of stuff that's at multiple different places. What's the analytics posture of an agency that's successful that you've seen in being able to navigate all of that?
Yeah, I think, again, AI really helps you ferret a lot of that stuff out. But if you can bring all that data in without having to, do a ton of work around actually tagging everything, but just be able, we have a technology at ServiceNow called Data Fabric, and it allows you to reach into all those different applications, bring those in from a zero copy perspective, and really be able to stitch all that together and make it really seamless and easy for your AI to really manipulate it and get real value out of it.
Easy seems to me, just as an outsider, to be the most desirable word of all the ones that you've used, because I keep hearing from agency people, AI is making my systems more efficient and faster, but it's also making them more complex.
It does. I mean, when you have that many applications and that, what I see is customers sort of sometimes doing AI for the sake of doing AI. And I really, that's probably not the right approach, because it does create additional complexity, and AI shouldn't, while it does create additional complexity, it really shouldn't stifle innovation, right? With innovation. And so one of the things that we see with customers that are being successful in using AI in their environment is that they have a really good governance structure associated with how they manage their data, how they have access to the data. also the LLM models that they're using. Obviously, we've got a lot of technology companies in the industry who have great AI technologies, but how are you centrally kind of managing that from a governance perspective to get the full value out of it and make sure that, again, people have access to the data they need, that the AI models have access to what they need access to as well. And so really the platform approach I see working really well with customers because it gives them the opportunity to kind of manage it centrally as opposed to having these point solutions that each AI product essentially, manages it themselves. So at ServiceNow, we like to think of ourselves as sort of the wrapper around the AI environment inside of a customer.
You've referred to the importance of governance a couple of times in this conversation already. Is that really the key to an agency getting the most effectiveness, the best return on investment on what they spend on AI?
I think it's really important from the standpoint. I've seen a lot of customers really benefit from creating like an AI council. And, what you want to do is make sure that you are learning from others inside of the agency, that, you have the right standards that you're doing. You want to make sure you're evaluating the AI models for bias potentially. You want to make sure that there are standards across those LLM models. And so that governance is a core piece. But I think there are, obviously other steps. We talked about your data as well being, in the right place to be really successful at it.
What do you tell agencies that ask you, I'm not sure I'm leveraging this technology in the most effective way and in the most cost-effective way? What's usually the advice that you give someone?
Yeah, that's a good point. I was reading an article the other day, and it said only 20% of the CIOs that actually have implemented AI in their environments are seeing the value from it. And I think that really comes from people doing just AI for, throwing AI at a specific problem. What I see customers being successful with, and what we recommend is, really picking some of the highest value processes that in your environment are really struggling. We have a technology called process mining that you can throw out at a particular process, and it will dig and find out all the issues associated with your process. And then that actually becomes a really good target for actually using AI to automate that and create efficiencies. And what I would suggest is that you do that across multiple processes, stack rank the most important processes that you want to automate and start from there. So you get the full value out of it. If you're just kind of going off doing it for the sake of doing it, you're probably going to be in that 20% that doesn't get the real value out of AI.